Hello and welcome. My name is Gail Moffat, and it's really nice to be with you. And I thought that I would just talk about what it means, some of my experiences as a medium. And one of the things, first of all, a medium is someone who is able to connect to loved ones in spirit. So people that you've known that have passed. And one of the things that I've concluded through doing this work, and it's a conclusion that will appear quite obvious, I'm sure, to you, but there's two situations that I find the most difficult when I'm working in this way. And one is when there's a death of a child and a parent is coming to me. And I can't tell you how difficult that is for a parent that loses a child. And I have had experience where the parent really never gets over losing a child. It's something that stays with them for the rest of their life, because it's not the usual order of events. It's not the way life should be. It's, we all expect as a parent to go before our children. And so I can tell you in my experience that has been really quite emotional when I connect in those circumstances, because the parents can often be so distraught. But another one circumstance that I find also is equally challenging when I'm working as a medium is when you have a situation where a couple has perhaps been with each other for the whole of their life, and maybe met when they were 19, 20, 21 years old, and one of them passes, and they've been together 50, 60, maybe 70 years, and they've lived a life with each other. And that's a challenge too, because what I often witness is the person that's left behind really struggles to move on with their life, and they can often get stuck in their grief. And I'm not saying that for any one moment that's a bad thing, because that's just the way it is. When all you've known for the whole of your life is that special person, it is a real challenge to move on from that. If you ever do, I think, if you ever do. And when you think about it, how can anyone replace somebody that you've been with for 50 years or more? So that's the two situations that I find sort of really difficult, not difficult to connect, but just difficult because of the emotions that surround this, and the hurt and the pain that we have to work with. And so that's me as a medium, but also I am able to connect with my guides and give guidance, so I can work in sort of different ways as well. But I just thought I would just share that with you, because I was just thinking about some of the challenges of being a medium. But anyway, let's go and speak to a caller. I believe Jennifer in Chatham, Ontario is there. Are you there, Jennifer?
Yes. Hello.
Hello and welcome to the show. My name is Gail Moffat, and have you ever had a reading before, Jennifer?
I've had a few psychic readings, yes.
Okay, good. So you understand how it all works. Well, so I'm a medium, which means that I can connect with loved ones in spirit, or I can also go to my guides and look to give guidance. Is there somewhere that you would like me to focus?
It would be nice if I could hear from some of the people that have passed over, family members that I miss. dearly.
Right. Yes. Is there anybody in particular that you'd like me to connect with?
Um, well,
I asked that
my
because we only have about 10 minutes. So that's why I
okay.
asked that.
My dad.
That's so funny because he's standing right in front of me. He was obviously expecting this. um, so, um, so one of the things that I'd like to say as he's stepping forward with me is that he he's talking about he found this very difficult. Now, I'm not sure what exactly he's referring to when he said he found this very difficult. Um, but I'm just going to sort of see if I can. He found this very difficult because when he arrived in spirit, he was able to be aware of the grief that was taking place, and And he's telling me that you perhaps found it more difficult than perhaps some of the other people in your family at the loss of your father. Would that make sense to you?
Um, yeah, possibly. Yeah, yeah.
Um, he's saying to me that you were at a particular age that made it more difficult because I feel like there were other people at different ages that managed to get over things a lot easier. Would that make sense to you?
Yeah, I have two half sisters that are about 20 years older than me.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. And so it was to do with your age. I feel that was the problem. Um, and he's saying to me, he keeps on showing me you riding a bike, and you know when parents hold the back of the bike and you're going along and they're getting you to sort of take the stabilizers off, and I keep on being shown that. Does that and I feel that this is a memory link that he's giving to me. Do you remember that with your father?
Yes. Yeah.
Because he's literally just come in with that. And he's saying to me that what he makes me feel that because of the timing of his passing and 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 how and the age that you were at, he makes me feel as though it took a little while for you to sort of get your feet back on the ground, and it meant that you sort of missed out in a normal way, in inverted commas, um, a period of time that was quite. I feel like it's critical or crucial for you in how like at this age we do this, at this age we do that, and I feel like there's something that you missed out on because of your grief, and it was a struggle for you to sort of catch up or get back on track. um, does that make sense to you?
Um, yeah, there was a lot of stuff going on in my life just before my dad passed, and then it continued after. So
Yeah.
maybe that's what he's talking about.
um, but I also feel that it's significant with your age, that your age was part of the issue with what was going on at the time, and sort of it's like you've got all what was going on plus your grief, and plus the age meant that you missed out on significant issues or parts of life that would have been at that time. And he makes me feel that as a result, it's as though you went on a different path in your life than you would have done if your father had have been still alive.
Hmm.
It makes me feel like there's a detour in on your path. Do you understand that, Jennifer?
Possibly. Like, I wasn't dealing well with him passing because there was some unresolved stuff, and there was just a lot of stress involved at the time, and I felt like I had to be the stronger person to help my mom and everything. And I remember he passed away in March, and then just before my daughter turned 1 in May, I had been like pushing myself really hard and not kind of facing his passing at all. And I was pushing myself to go to boot camp and kind of focus on something different, right? And I ended up having a heart attack at the age of 35. So,
right.
So I don't know if that's what he's talking about, and I got through it, but it just added to everything. So
yeah, but I feel that is linked to your grief as well, and I just feel that what he's trying to say to me is that your path irreversibly changed at that time in your life, because I feel that you made I feel like you were almost like you're forced into a position where you constructed life in a different way as a result of all of this happening. And he's saying to me that part of that really saddens him, because he feels that you would have gone on a path that would have perhaps I feel like you were more focused on success in life, and but that it's almost like that's taken away from you, and you change the direction of your life, and this is what is really sort of saddening him. But also, I feel that you you were unsure of okay, you were unsure of how how your father um, truly felt about you, because I feel that there were some discussions or um, feelings, emotions that were running high, that you you needed you needed it's almost like you needed to know that your father was your father for you, and it wasn't so clear, and you didn't have that clarity. Does that make sense to
right.
you?
Yeah.
And it's always been a little bit of a thorn in your side, where you felt like it's almost like you're a little bit cross that you weren't able to clarify exactly your relationship with your father. And I want you to know that, and this is what he's saying to me, is that as far as he's concerned, he sees you in a very special way as his daughter. But he makes it very clear to me that he did not give that impression at times to you. And he wants to apologize, because I feel like there's times when he could be a bit aloof with you, or not really engage with you, or too busy to communicate with you. And I just feel that he feels a sense of guilt, and feels a sense of wanting to put things straight, and for you to know categorically that he has a love for you and is apologizing deeply for his part in your hurt and pain that caused you a direction of life that never really got back on track in the right way. Does all of that make sense?
Yeah, I think it's starting to be clearer now. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think he's talking about my childhood and my mother was abusive and my dad didn't know how to handle it, and he didn't know how to pick a side, so he would avoid instead, and he would leave and then pretend nothing happened.
Yeah. He wasn't able to address issues. I feel like he doesn't like confrontation as well, and it's easier just to be quiet. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. But I feel like there's a deep, deep apology coming from him that is there for you. And that's something that I need you to take away with you, that not only is there an apology, but there's also the fact that he has a great deal of love for you. And despite your path that's gone off in a different direction than perhaps it would have been, he feels that a sense of pride in you, that you're his daughter, and you have achieved a great deal despite all the adversities in your life.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to thank you for phoning in. Sadly, we only have about 10 minutes. I've gone slightly over, and I do have another call waiting. So, but do find me on Facebook. My name's Gail Moffat, or I do have a YouTube channel as well. But thank you for calling in.
Thank you.
It was lovely to meet with you. Thank you. Right, so let's go to Monica in Kolkata, West Bengal. Hello, Monica, are you there?
Yeah, I'm there. Thank you for giving me a reading.
It's my pleasure to do a reading for you. Now, would you like me to connect with a loved one, or would you like me to give you guidance? And where would you like me to focus?
I would like you to connect with the loved ones.
And who would you like me to connect with?
With my grandmother.
Right, okay. Right. Would I be right in saying when I connect to your grandmother that she played a role in your family? And I almost want to describe her more as a mother than a grandmother. Would that make sense to you? Because I feel like she takes a big role in taking care of you and looking after you.
No, like when she was alive, she did not love me, but I come to know now, like in spirit world, she's taking care of me. So like I really want to know, is she with me, or like she would like to give me some message?
I can't quite hear you because the sound was a bit shaky. But what I heard, would you understand that she played a role in bringing you up?
Not exactly. She did not play. She did not play like major role in bringing me up.
Right. Okay. And I've got that wrong. I do apologize, Monica. That does sometimes happen.
Yeah, it happens. I do understand.
Good, thank you. So I feel that would you understand that she was quite strict and old-fashioned in her outlook?
Yeah. She was very old-fashioned in her outlook. That's right.
Yeah, and and I feel like she could be quite critical as well.
What? Sorry, I didn't get you.
I feel that she could be quite critical as well.
Yeah, she was.
And she and where I said, and I do feel that she would have quite a few opinions on how you should be brought up, and they were quite sort of old fashioned, more of the old ways, um, and they weren't as modern as perhaps people in India bring up their children today. They were very much of the old ways of doing things. Um, do you understand that, Monica?
Yeah, I'm understanding. So you go on. If I don't understand, I will interrupt you.
Okay, all right. She's saying to me that she wants to talk about her upbringing, and I feel that she was somebody that had little choice about the direction of her life as she was growing up. And I feel that from a very young age, she was committed to a life that perhaps was a challenging life for her. And
yeah. When she was child, she had a very challenging life. Like she had to work from a very early age. She was taking care of her family. That's right.
And I also feel that I feel like did she have an arranged marriage as well? It feels like she has. I feel like she had to marry somebody that really she didn't want to marry, and she makes me feel like she didn't feel that she was compatible with her husband.
No. She was very happy with her marriage. She was married to my grandfather, and she was very happy because as per Indian tradition, she got married very late, and she was not good looking. My grandfather was very good looking. She was very happy for her marriage.
But I feel that because she feels that, because I'm getting this very clear with her, that she feels that a large part of her life was against her will, is what she's saying to me.
No, she was the queen of the house. She used to dictate each and every person in the house. My grandfather, like in my house.
No, Monica, hold on a moment. I think you're misunderstanding me. What I mean is that she took on a life, and she was very happy to take on that life because that was the way, that was the culture, that was what she should do. And she took on that life. But what she's saying to me is that she took on a life that wasn't her choice in the beginning.
But so far I know, we had this conversation, but she was very happy with her life, and she had led her life according to her terms. She did not care for anyone in the house. She led her life according to her own terms. But yes, during her end time, she was a little miserable. Like my grandfather left her 10 years past, but she led the whole life on her own terms. She was like a Hitler, to be very honest.
She was quite controlling. I do feel that with her, and she liked to get her own way and things like that. But I think you're misunderstanding me, is that I feel that she had an arranged marriage, and her destiny was dictated to her. That's what I'm trying to say to you. Also, I feel with her that she was it was very important to her to almost like tell other people how to run their lives. And I feel that she then, and I feel that she was quite critical and quite domineering about how your life should be and about how your family's life should be. And for some of the people in the family, they were uh, happy to listen to her and accept her decisions and her opinions. But for others, they didn't quite like it. And I feel like there are some people within the family where there is where it wasn't always agreeable about her opinions, and sometimes there could be some friction. Um, and that's what I feel about her.
Interrupt you. I said she was like a very dictator. Like she used to control everything, whether we like it or not. Like we had a joint family. We all had to listen to her, and whatever she says was the final decision. We have no choice, and the question of fiction never arrived.
Yeah. But I do feel that some people went along with her decisions and others disagreed with them. And maybe they went along with it still, but I just feel like there are some people that were not happy with the way that she was dictating to people.
Yeah, actually, my mom was not happy. Like she was always after my mom. Even as a kid, even I was not happy. Like like she was very biased. But
yeah,
but then there was.
Yeah, I do feel that there was friction in the family as a result of how your grandmother was. But but I want to say to her, I want to say to you rather, that what she's saying to me is that she feels as though for some people they haven't. Respect is a really important feature for her, and she needs people in her family to respect her, and that was always a key component for her. And if they didn't respect her, she would get quite angry with them because she found it disrespectful to not regard her in the highest position in the family. And I know that she, I just know that there was a lot of friction, a lot of difficulty in the family as a result of her dominating the family and the way everyone was brought up and the way things evolved.